You should always point your stories and your presentations towards a straight line. See, the straight line theory, which was made popular by Jordan Belfort, is a great way to visualize the entire sales process from the beginning to the very end. A sales rock star will view the sales process as a roadmap that takes a prospect from point A to point B down a straight line. A perfect phone call is a straight line. See, during a perfect phone call, you'll take the prospect down a straight line. Everything that you say will not deviate from that straight line. There are no stalls or objections, and the prospect does not ask any questions and buys from you when you actually ask for the sale. See, a perfect call like that rarely actually happens because people will typically have questions or will provide some sort of resistance at some point during the phone call. Make an imaginary line you call the no sale zone. See, the straight line theory calls for the salesperson to have an imaginary line that acts as a boundary above and below the straight line. In between the straight line and the boundary, you're in control of that phone call. Once you step over the boundary, you're now out of control. See, when a salesperson finds themselves outside of that boundary, whether it's at the top or the bottom, they're in what's called the no sale zone. You need to quickly get back to the straight line as quickly as possible. Getting back to the straight line is actually really easy. If you start to feel yourself losing control of the conversation or getting close to that imaginary line that you don't want to cross over, you can always pull out that famous line, "Let me ask you a question." This will help you get back to the straight line and your process. Each time you ask a question, you're taking back control of the conversation and you're staying on your straight line. The prospect may not take you off the straight line on purpose. So the prospect might start talking about a new car that they purchased, which they took their best friend on a road trip. They might want to tell you all about it. The lounge act may think that this is building rapport, but actually what it's doing is the exact opposite. There is such a thing as too much rapport that takes you so far from the straight line that it's almost impossible to get the conversation back to that straight line. Throughout your phone call, you should continue to build rapport and to find common ground, but you always want to make the prospect view you as an expert in your field. See, every word is either moving that prospect towards or away from the close. The straight line theory, what it does, it allows you as a salesperson to have flexibility and not be rigid during your sales process and your presentation. It gives you the mobility to move up or down as you go along the straight line with the flow of the conversation, but you must always be aware not to stray too much off course. Calls do not always go as planned. The straight line theory, what it does, it gives you a mental framework to go down a straight line and always maintain control of that phone call. Let me give you an example of a prospect taking you off the straight line. So here's John. Let me ask you a question. I heard that AARP is the best company to have when you go on Medicare. My neighbor has them and says that they're the best. What John is trying to do is he's trying to take you off of that straight line. So here's what a sales rock star will do. John, AARP is one of the best and your neighbor's in great hands with them. Since Medicare is not a one-size-fits-all, they may or not be your best option for you, but we'll certainly look into them for you. John, let me ask you a question. See, always get back to that straight line as quickly as possible and follow your process. One thing that a sales rock star never does is they never talk bad about another company. The sales rock star will never talk bad about any other company regardless of if they're a competitor or not. Always praise every company in your market because you are not there to sell a company or a product. Remember, you're there to sell you. A lounge act will start talking bad about their competitors in order to make themselves look good. Unfortunately, all this does is make them look bad and turn away a good prospect. Make your straight line theory become a habit. See, follow that straight line during your presentation must become a routine habit, just like brushing your teeth. We all follow a process in our daily lives. We all follow a routine. If that routine is broken, it can throw off our entire day. The exact same thing happens if a salesperson does not follow a process or a routine. It throws off the entire sale and even their sales day. It is proven that salespeople that follow a structured process will outperform those that don't any day of the week.